I guess right now is a good time to say 2025 has officially begun. Why? Because Before You Weekend is finally back. Here with information, entertainment, jokes, arguments, and dialogue. Welcome to the award-nominated podcast, Before You Weekend. And I'm not alone. I have the beautiful, the gorgeous, the sensational, the intelligent co-host, Ellen.
Keep at it.
You're watching Before You Weekend. You're watching Before You Weekend. You're watching Before You Weekend. Hey, you're watching Before You Weekend.
We'll talk about the week before it ends.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Hey, man. It's been a long time.
You know, it's funny when someone starts the year on, how are you? The year just started. Like, whoa, wait. How many times did you get dumped? It's Valentine's is here. Where are your boyfriends?
Don't start that nonsense. Don't start that nonsense. I don't need that bull in my life.
I was ready to come to the studio today in a leopard print shirt.
Again, 2025. You still wanna?
Yeah, you guys think I'm joking? There's gonna come a day. I'm gonna come in that shirt, and I'm gonna drag that culture. And I hope you had a laugh with me. If you take it personally, you need a therapist. But we've got a lot to joke about.
If anybody knows where the studios are, right? We are in Newtown. This is the hub of Quantum. This is the hub of CIA. Ehen. Mfowethu. How are you going to make it? From the Uber to the studio in one piece.
I feel like if this podcast was played in taxis, apart from them going too much English, they go, these jokes are funny though. We can't deny.
You're still not going to make it out alive though. They'll be like, I feel
like I could be the MC when young boys go to the mountains. I feel like it would be hilarious. Guys, you ready? All right.
You can talk about anything. You can carry on with the Zulus as much as you want. So do not touch the Nostra. And do not touch their mountain. Because, my boy,
so for everyone outside of South Africa, and actually, I'm actually curious now, because I know we've got some people who watch and consume this podcast from East Africa.
Yeah.
Do you guys have something like going up the mountains, which means basically the boys becoming men, and that's where they get circumcised?
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of other things that happen, but the general idea is that they go to the mountains to get circumcised, they come down, and they get considered a man by their family, by their tribe. So I'm curious. Maybe I haven't done enough research, but I'm curious to hear from you. Please put in the comments, educate us. What happens on other sides of Africa? Which brings me to this conversation.
Yes.
There's a lot going on in South Africa, but before we get into that, it's interesting how almost every African country has a beautiful nickname, and we get like the pettiest nickname. Let me show you. Let me actually show you to prove my point. So, Ethiopia is called the cradle of humanity.
Okay.
Eritrea is called the land of the Red Sea. Kenya is called the land of the lion. Somalia, the Horn of Africa. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Ghana is the Gold Coast. Nigeria, the Giants of Africa. Senegal, the land of the Teranga. Liberia, the land of liberty. I love that one. That's dope. Sierra Leone, the Lion Mountains, and then Egypt, the land of pharaohs. Morocco, the land of the setting sun. Whew. And South Africa, the Rainbow Nation. What?
Okay, what you need to understand is Rebo grade 12H. We are grade 12H, okay, of the world. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not discriminating in any way. I'm not putting us down. I love my land. But we are grade 12H. The class that you go to when, like, we the vibe, okay, at any given time. They said, we are taking our US aid. We said, sharp, we'll show you. Take it, it's fine. Watch social media, let us show you.
It's fine, we'll do it raw.
We'll do it raw. I mean,
what?
It's not like we weren't, so, you know. And I just think that we are, when we say Saudha, we've got no time for the Horn of, and then the Lion of Judah, and then the...
No. South Africa, out of all nations?
Great 12H.
Lesotho, the kingdom in the sky.
The same Lesotho that wants to take over
We need to talk about that. Namibia, the land of the brave. Botswana also has the same thing. The land of the setting sun. Zambia, the land of the Tonga chiefs. Zimbabwe, the land of the great. Come on, guys.
I don't know what's happening.
Now we just sound like we're the LGBTQ country. It's a slow burn. You got it? You got it?
Well, actually, we are.
Technically, yeah. Because every other country is like, nah.
Technically.
We don't want that.
We are, Because, I mean, if we've got a province that has a name and a surname. KwaZulu Natal. You understand? Like, why must we be like everybody else? And I also don't want to be called something that... I don't see South Africa as a country that has that type of decorum. And, when you say the land of, we aren't the land of in any way.
I would like to be South Africa, the face of freedom. Come on. Right? The face of freedom? Because everyone thinks Nelson Mandela, even though we don't rate Nelson Mandela the way the rest of the world does, but when we say the face of freedom, everyone knows what that means.
Oh, we got it late.
Huh?
We got it last. The freedom.
We still battling towards it, and it's even worse now seeing that the forum, is socializing all the way to America. Okay, I don't know what they called, Volkskas Bank and all of that. It's all going that side.
I mean, I guess that's
no way.
I mean, I guess that's a question for the citizens of Before You Weekend. If we had to nickname South Africa, if we had to not be the Rainbow Nation anymore, what would we be? I really think we should be called the face of freedom. Just because of the person who was branded very well by apartheid South Africa. Excellently well. Because that man lived nicely until his grandkids just messed everything up. But the face of freedom?
They were Decembering nicely, hey?
Yeah, until they got arrested.
But that's the thing. Like, what do we expect? You can only go so far as a parent, as a grandparent, as a matriarch or whoever in the family to sort of get everybody into formation.
Yeah.
Right? Kids are gonna kid. There's only so much. My son the other day called me Magriza. And I'm like, you say
And
what?
it's your son.
And he's got the swagger, and it's not the swagger that I'm used to. He's got this other the what do they call them? The kwelas. Oh. And he's there, and I'm like, Lord Jesus, I did not bring this child here, did not carry him for the amount of time that I carried him, for him to become a kwela and to go and to what, I have no idea what the child is saying for most of the time. Okay. According to him, okay, not according to me. It's no. So I don't. Even the Rainbow Nation, I don't even think that we think of stuff like that as South Africans. If we were to be honest with ourselves, we don't regard ourselves in that way. We are too busy, and you know what? There's a lot of good that comes out of South Africa. The level of excellence is extremely high, but at the same time, we are the dance challenge people. You know what I mean? Like, drop something and then tomorrow we are doing it.
Oh, that's bad.
The praise singer in Parliament said cupcake to his face. Our president, we said to his face, cupcake, wena wa South Africa, wena cupcake, ham. To his face.
I mean, but that's also to celebrate the kind of freedom South Africa has in being able to share their viewpoint without consequence. We probably have the biggest amount of freedom, I guess, after the US for Africa that no one else gets to say, which is very interesting. And I wonder why people in positions of power struggle with, I guess, certain rhetoric or propaganda that could be created, and maybe by history. Maybe history is their reference as to why you should not allow people to say what they want to say. But you got countries of the free world, and I have to kind of rope us in that, unfortunately, because it makes us very ignorant and not really care about what's going on outside of our country.
Yeah.
I think it's shown that it's created room to say it's okay for people to express say things. You'll be okay. Unless they worry that there's some people who have so much information on the government that they could shut it down with just one IG live, which is quite impractical.
Yeah. For South Africa.
Yeah. And looking at the way social media networks work, they can decide what becomes popular. They create algorithms, they create codes. They can decide, oh, we like that one.
Yeah.
Let's shoot it up.
Let's keep
Yeah.
them here.
Yeah.
The minute they start to.
Yeah. Oh, you hate the gays? Let's put it down. Like, it's really like that. Anyway, I think it's time to get into it.
You're watching before you weekend.
Running a business or planning an event and need marketing that actually works, right? Look no further than Now Africa, the team that turns ideas into gold mines. From brand strategy to content creation, video production, and digital campaigns, we don't just market, we make your brand unforgettable. Whether you're launching, scaling, or rebranding, Now Africa has the tools, creativity, and expertise to get you results. Don't guess. Get the pros on your side. Book a call today at www.nowafrica.com or email tk@nowafricasa.co. That's tk at nowafrica. That's tk at nowsa.co. Now Africa, where your ideas turn into gold mines.
You're watching before you weekend.
All right, people. So we are introducing a new segment to the Before You Weekend episodes, and this segment is called Hot Seat Fridays. In the segment, debates are had between two people, and there normally will be a mediator. In this case, in today's episode, the mediator are the producers of today's episode. The debates you're about to hear for every week aren't our opinions. It's from the research we've gathered and from our random thoughts that you might hear off the cuff. So don't take it personally and don't clip a segment where someone said something to make sure your argument is supported. So with that being said, we need you to vote. We need you to put a poll. We need you to add comments. We're going to try our best to share this everywhere we can just to make sure we have your input and consider you as the citizens of Before You Weekend. Today's argument is Africans cannot be trusted with a 4-day work week versus 4 days is all Africans need to get the job done. I am on the side of Africans cannot be trusted with a 4-day work week. Ellen is on the side of 4 days is all Africans need to get the job done.
Yes, sir.
We're going to start with Ellen because I felt it's easy. You ready?
It's easy. Well, first of all, Before You Weekend is aired on a Friday during a time when you should be relaxing, focusing on what's coming, right? On the weekend. So we need all the time that we can get. If you look at where
to relax.
Yes.
When do you work then?
No, we've worked, right? This is the reason why I'm talking about Friday, first of all. We're talking about Friday. This is the fifth day, right? We need the Friday to relax. And I'm going to tell you why Friday doesn't work. Anytime after lunchtime, so after 2 p.m., the workday doesn't exist anymore. Okay. You're lucky if you can get into a Friday in any case. Because we've worked so hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, you'll be lucky if we show up to a meeting. So if I'm not answering my emails, and we've experienced this offline, we have experienced, things just, let's get to this on Monday, okay? We're looking at, let's get to this. Let's circle back on Monday.
But you could have answered the question and said, now that I've concluded, we're going to move to the next chapter on Monday.
No, that takes a lot of time. That requires energy, right? First of all, we need the weekend to us. We need all the time that we can get. And unfortunately, working on a Friday until what time? 5 p.m.
Yes.
Why?
Because you're getting paid
What
for a
time are we going to
40-hour
fire
work
up the
week.
braai?
Who braais on a Friday?
And this is like a general thing, but I'm going to enter into a personal kind of thing, right? In the industry that I work in, 3 p.m. already the braai has started.
Okay.
So, and the braai is going, the drinks are out, and at that time, it's not that we aren't working, we're networking.
But you're sitting with
We
your
are
superior who
networking.
wants something from you on Monday morning. He took those 2 hours away from you.
The superior is
For
working.
meat.
He's standing across the braai stand. He is barbecuing with us.
He can be drunk asking you, so where's that report?
Amarkwebas also must chill. Like if you're standing across. I know this is bad. I'll come back with a better one. I can almost feel like my argument just flipping away. Kwebas is across the braai stand from me. He's not going to ask me for anything. Monday morning, however, we are together. We are hot. We are, we together. Fridays are for braais and networking. It's not that we aren't working. We are networking. When do you make the biggest? Okay, I'll save that one for the next time.
I feel like Africans cannot be trusted with a 4-day work week, because if we were to work 4 days a week and leave Friday out, you're creating an opportunity for governments to continue being corrupt. And then you're going to wake up on Monday and realize, oh, your money's missing. They text you more because you weren't paying attention to the updates.
Because you weren't there on a Friday.
Because you weren't there on a Friday. On top of that, we are slowly coming out of load shedding, but now it's load reduction. That's already stolen. That's already hours stolen from the Monday to Thursday. You need to catch up. Do you know in South Africa, productivity only increased by 0.2% in the past year? Imagine if that's the stats now. Taking away Friday is going to make it drop.
I don't see that. I think that we've been more productive being during the COVID time, during the COVID period, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say what we've been doing, but I think we've been more productive.
A lot of sex was happening during COVID.
Why were you having sex?
No, that's what was happening. I didn't say me. I said this is what was happening. Guys, during the pandemic, there was a lot of sex happening. Right, producers?
They can't say right. These are mediators. Excuse me.
Were you having a lot of sex during the pandemic? Yeah.
We got a whole lot done. A lot was proved that we can actually do work. We are actually productive if we are in a setting that is comfortable to us, right? Being in a work setting is already, it messes with your mental health. People are struggling with that, being in an office setting, right? There are deadlines, there's whatever. At least if you're at home, you're getting to all of that, which then brings me to the point of Friday being off. You relaxed. It means that Monday you're coming back stronger, better, faster.
You know what a 4-day work week would encourage?
What?
It's going to encourage African time. I hate the idea of African time because it allows people to think, oh, we can just disrespect each other with honoring agreements. We already do it now, and it's so bad that people go, sorry, and they laugh when they say, I'm sorry, I'm late. African time, right? What do you mean? You're 45 minutes late.
No, but you realize that the people that said, African time are not really the Africans. They aren't.
Who are they?
They aren't. No, I have seen, don't ask me where I've seen it, I've seen where people have said, who live in Africa, saying, African time, guys, you know how it is. There was a taxi in front of me. I couldn't get here on time. It wasn't us. We are there on time.
You've seen that those people do that.
They have. Over and over again, because it's the taxis that aren't, following the rules of the road. But when it comes to us, once you've got that yellow line, we are on time at work. There's no time when we're late.
Let me poke a hole in your argument.
Right.
If we do 4-day work week in Africa, what happens to the public holidays?
No, we keep them. Don't mess with our public holidays.
So people work for 3 days in the week.
Okay.
I own Macro, I don't know what a big store is in East Africa, North Africa. You guys know what your big retail store is. If there's a 3-day work week, you're making me lose millions.
How are you losing millions?
Because I need them to work every day.
They are working every day. The only days that people aren't really working is probably, even on Christmas, people are working. But that's a day where you see a decrease.
In sales,
mm-hmm. Right? Because people are with family. But every single other day of the week, Africa needs the money. We are at work. Just because we've got 4 days compared to 3, we are going to make the 4 days work for us, and it's going to work for your company.
This is my issue. If we allow a 4-day work week, Africans will not bite the finger. They'll bite the hand and say, give us 3 days.
Says who?
Have you seen how we are as humans? 40 weeks is too much. Drop it down to 35.
There's no way. We're going to be grateful for that. Thank you, Bas. I thank you, Bas. What do we say? What do we call white people in South Africa? Mlungu. Thank you. Thank you, Mlungu. There's no way we're going to stay another day or ask for another day. Already we're getting the Friday. There's no way. We need the money. That's one thing you need to think about, that Africa needs the money. We're going to put in the work so that we can get paid. And also, we don't want to be cheated out of our bottom line. So if I'm getting 5,000 Rand a month, right? And if working 4 days a month is going to decrease that in any way, I'm going to say, look, how can I make sure that I stay at my 5,000 Rand? And they say, okay, this is the amount of hours that we've got going in order for you to get your 5,000 Rand. If you had to look for anybody who has a mother, grandmother, aunt, uncle that isn't used to getting up at 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning, just so that they can get to work at 6 a.m. and have been doing that for their entire lives, I'll concede.
So are you saying
we used to hard work
at the expense of working longer hours just to have Friday off? So if it's not 8 hours, you'll be okay with 10 hours a day?
I can't remember the last time I've taken a full lunch break. I can't remember the last time I've taken a full lunch break. I've been working through my lunch.
So you would do a 10-hour work day for 4 days to have Friday off?
Yep. Also, as an African continent, we need the Friday, because if there would be less people taking days off work for funerals, etc. Friday, we get the vigil, right? We need time to.
I can't believe you read that route.
We need time to be at the wake. Now there's no excuse. Every single time.
So
we
Fridays
need some
are to
time
bury
off.
the blacks.
This is a black continent, sir. In case you haven't realized, it's a black continent. So we'll have less grandmothers and aunts and uncles passing away. Oh, I can see the comments already. We'll have less time that we need off, right? Because already we know we are at the wake on Friday. We are slaughtering the cow. We are sitting by the coffin Friday evening. Do you understand? People don't understand this. How many grandmothers we have? I'm a grandmother. My children don't have kids, but I'm a grandmother. So, in effect, if I was to pass away and my daughter was at work, she would say, I have to go and bury my grandmother. And if they had to count, that's more than 2 grandmothers gone already. So, come on. We need it's a cultural thing. HR, somebody.
My biggest argument, I don't know if I have any more in me, but Friday already doesn't exist. As considering how we behave when we wake up to Friday.
Yeah.
No one's thinking about a meeting or a deadline or a pitch presentation thing. The behavior is already lazy. People aren't responding to emails. People aren't answering calls because they're going, no, I'm drinking at lunchtime. How dare you call me when I'm trying to relax?
So what you're saying is currently Friday is a working day, right?
Yeah, but
it is a working day. It's just that South Africans don't. Not South Africans. Africans is the thing, right? Africans don't really Friday. They don't work on a Friday.
So it's already a long weekend that's not acknowledged.
So what you want to do now is say, guys, don't forget Friday is an actual work day, and they think that they're going to pitch up at work if they haven't already.
Do you want your bonus or not? Do you want to be great or not? Do you want your promotion or not?
We have been working. That's not an argument. I'm sorry.
In the words of Verwoerd, work harder.
Excuse me, what?
I can't believe I'm saying that. Yes, in the words of Jan van der Riebeeck, you're not working hard enough.
Sir, here's something. If we aren't working hard enough, right? The people that are manning the fields currently in Saudi are black people, right? The owners, we won't say, and I'm not going the race route before you come into that. The people that are manning the fields are black people, and they are working very, very hard. There was an opportunity for the owners to go to a place where 5-day work days are a thing. And they said, listen, ons gaan nie daar so nie. Ons bly hierso. And we don't care. If 3 o'clock, from 3 down, we are not working. We are staying here. So please, they acknowledge that even though we stop or it's tools down or it's pens down or whatever it is from 2 p.m. on a Friday, these people get their work done, and we aren't going to get a harder working nation than we do in Africa, because otherwise they would have just effed around and found out.
Let's get to our mediators. What are your questions? What are your thoughts? Where are you siding? Ask your questions. Probe us.
Okay. I feel like we should have 4 days. 5 days actually. But if we're having 4 days, it'd be best if we have like 2 jobs legally for businesses. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you'd be cool with 4 days if we can have multiple jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 jobs sounds like a 5-day work week.
It really does.
The thing is, if everyone has 4 days, so some can work the weekend one, and then some can work the other one.
So what you're saying is you're not talking about Monday to Thursday. You're just saying within the 7 days, just
have
work
4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
So you're on my side, was what you're saying.
But you have to have a second job, you feel me?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, is that the condition?
Yeah.
You must have a second job.
Yeah.
Then that equals a 5-day.
Yeah.
I don't see
2
how that
jobs
equals.
in a 4-day. It's virtually impossible.
How are we going to have a 5-day if unemployment is at the rate that it is already? So how can we have 2 jobs?
Operation Teka.
Ay, Nazok.
It's evil, but if the opportunities in front of you, hey. Any other questions or thoughts or probes?
For me personally, I think I'm siding with Ellen. I mean, average is enough. I think that's basically South Africa.
Did you say average is enough?
Average is enough, my boy.
Average is enough. And South Africa has, I think workers generally have proven that like, yo, hey man, Friday, say, we can't be worried about lazy to lazy. So that's just basically on my end.
Okay, here's the one jab I'm going to throw into your argument.
Okay.
If we create that culture of a 4-day work week and we know how Africans or South Africans behave, we're going to have less emerging entrepreneurs, because more people will be uninspired to even try to take the risk on building something.
I don't think so. We are a very materialistic country and continent. We're extremely materialistic. And we like that thing of having 3-4 phones and a laptop, and then there's a screen and a whatever. We are going to put the work in. If it means money, go to any African auntie and say money, anything to do with money, and you're going to see your mara. Don't do that. Don't mess with our money. Here's the bottom line. You can give us 1 day and it'll be the best day of your life. It'll be the most productive day of your life. That is how much we are about our money, right? If you had to take away finances, if we were okay, we weren't a third world, right? Then maybe, but we are. So therefore, don't mess with my money. If you're giving me 4 days, I'm going to make those 4 days count. We way too materialistic.
Okay. So both of you on the 4-day side?
Yeah, the 4-day, yeah.
So for you guys who are watching this from work, the office, with your boss, or at home, hopefully we find a way to put a poll here, or put in the comments. Which side are you on? I'm team 5 days work week. Ellen is team 4-day work week. And just tell us why TK's answer is the best answer, and we can move on from that. Yeah? Great stuff. So it's been an exciting week. A lot is happening. South Africa has basically become the Thanos of Africa. Rwanda hates us. Lesotho hates us. USA hates us. We hate DA and John Steenhuisen. Like, there's just a lot of hate going on.
And we are just here. We don't care. Bring it on. Bring it on.
So I think maybe we should start off with what's hot first. And that's the Donald Trump nonsense.
Yeah.
And for those who are living under a rock, Donald Trump has issued sanctions towards South Africa because, in his view, the South African government's doing terrible things to the minority of the country. And in his mind, he thinks the terrible things are South African government is confiscating land from the minority, which is whites, who own businesses, farms, factories, name it. They own the economy of South Africa. And he feels like this is bad. What he doesn't understand is he didn't read the expropriation bill at all. He just believed whatever AfriForum and Elon Musk, the real president of America, has told him. Cyril has gone out of his way to try educate, and Trump is not listening. He's even been invited to the G20 summit. We don't know to this day if he's accepted the invitation to come and have this conversation. But this is where we are, where the minority, or some people in the minority, think that the government is about to take their land, similar to the Zimbabwe situation a few years ago, where the white people in the area were told to leave. You know what's a good segue with that? The podcast, the Wide Awake podcast. He's like I think he's Jewish. I know he's white, but I think he's Jewish. His family is actually from Zimbabwe. You guys probably know the Wide Awake podcast. He moved to South Africa because he was one of the families who owned a farm and was told to leave the country.
Yeah.
And now he's got a great podcast. He was the guy with the ears. Sound
With
familiar?
the ears.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. But everyone, like, I'll photo here if I remember to put it here. And he's got a beautiful story, but he's like, I hate to say it like this, but he was one of the good ones. I don't know about the family, but he.
Okay.
And the minority of Afrikaans people who are living in fear or have their own idea of how Africans do their thing are thinking, oh, damn, the ANC is coming for my land, coming for my money. They're trying to disrupt everything. And at no point did the president of South Africa say, I'm coming for your stuff.
Yeah.
He was saying it's land that is within public interest, land that has not been used, land that's not doing anything for the nation.
Yeah.
We're coming for that because there's so much space in South Africa that hasn't been utilized for anything. Yet it's under some Van Wyk, Van der Merwe, Van Volt, whatever. And they've never responded to the call.
Yeah.
And people are worried that they think their stuff will be taken away. What's your take on that?
First of all, I have to I don't know what the English word is, seeing that I'm so black and whatnot. The white people that actually tried or attempted to set the record straight, right, with Trump and said that, guys, this is not what's happening. This is the real issue in South Africa. This is what the bill says. Read it, go through it.
Wait,
right?
please continue. Please, while you're saying that,
Yeah.
Update, because I forgot to put that in. That whole invitation as refugee status. Tell them that.
Let me see if I can remember. Trump said, man, I can't even remember properly now.
Trump has said the minority population of South Africa can take refugee status within America because they feel like this is the only way they can be safe.
Is this whites and Afrikaners? Because there's two types of
Afrikaans.
whites.
So they keep saying Afrikaans,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's no way you can. It's going to be really quite tricky to decipher. I guess tricky. It's not tricky for us as South Africans because we know the difference.
Yeah.
But for them, it's like, oh, but you're from South Africa.
White is white.
You own 10 factories. Come here.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with accepting refugee status. To accept refugee status means you must forget all the capital your companies make.
And that's why they said, "Urgh."
And that's why Afriforum said, no, we didn't say that. Hold on.
We didn't. That's not what we're about. What we were saying is stop the entire thing. Bring back apartheid. They weren't saying
They were essentially saying bring back
they were saying
apartheid.
bring back apartheid. Right? Like I was saying, I'm just very grateful to people speaking up for their country. I think the day after Trump made his statement, I was speaking to a sister of mine, and she was asking, what do you think about this entire thing? And I said, it's one of two ways. The ones that want to go over don't have the money to survive over there because it's a totally different ballgame.
It gets worse.
It gets worse over there, right? Unless you have been there and you've gone through and you're working through the system for years now, not just an immediate up and go, right? The ones that want to go don't have the money to go because otherwise they would have gone to Australia and wherever else, right? When people started moving away. And then the ones that do have the money are still enjoying the benefits of what it means to be wealthy.
Taken so much from this country
in South Africa. So why would
How
I
do
want
we
to go
give it
to a
up?
place where I am a nobody, right? I don't have any power. I don't have any reach. So here, I still have all of the reach that I need.
I think that's my biggest irritation with the minority who doesn't understand that, because I don't know if you heard the press conference where the leader of AfriForum, or the Solidariteit, whatever, said the African heritage or whatever cannot exist or will not live, can't live in America, can't survive. And he's probably right, because that would mean for it to survive, you need to colonize again.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And you're in no position of power to be able to do that in America. And essentially accepting refugee status means an admission of guilt, that you did take land that didn't belong to you.
Yeah.
And for centuries, you've profited off land that didn't belong to you.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of opposition on the white end going, fine, if we give it back to you, will it be any better? Whether it is or not, the fact that there is blood on your surname, are you ready to are you ready to acknowledge how much blood is under your surname? How much your family has probably killed, stolen, just to be where you are, just to be white enough to apply for credit, and you will get it just off the fact that you're white, not of the fact that you actually know how to manage money. And it's concerning. So, and it's a weird thing for me to say it like this. Yes, there are quite a lot of white people who are South African at heart.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful. One is my friend. I love him.
Did you say what?
One is my
Did you
friend.
say what?
Yes.
I
have a white friend. Yes. But I love him. And there's here and there you find these people like, oh, you understand. And to some degree you can empathize with the pain certain surnames have caused here.
Yeah.
And they acknowledge that they don't even have the power to try to reverse things. They are decent, but it's like, do you understand the snowball effect behind you?
Yeah.
Like, even if you were to try be an activist, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Everything works in your favor.
Yeah.
The Rupas have built this nation. If they were to close all their companies, we don't have a South African economy anymore.
That's true.
And that's a concern.
Yeah. I like the angle that you are coming at it from, right? It's acknowledging how much white people have done for South Africa, right? But I hate also how Elon Musk is now saying, going on every X post and saying exactly that, reposting everything where people say that, we don't really, we should actually get onto our own 2 feet. He's not coming at it in the right way, right? So you've got a lot of African content creators, just normal African people saying that, look, it's about time, we stood up for ourselves, and let's just look at what we have, the resources that we have. Surely we can make something out of that, right? And he's now reposting that in a way that feels, I don't know. He's just really coming at us.
He's weaponizing propaganda.
Exactly. He's really weaponizing it. And for the white people that are saying, guys, this is what it is. Listen here, right? If you are in the right, you've got nothing to worry about. The problem is if you know exactly what you've been doing, your family and whatever. And don't come with the whole, it's been X amount of years, get over it.
Yeah.
How?
That's the most disrespectful thing to ever say to any person, no matter what age they are. While black, you can't say that. And
it's a crime thing, like has been said in media. It is a crime thing. It is not us against white people.
Yeah.
And if you've got a white farmer and a black farmer, we're going after the white farm, or the white farmer and killing the white farmer. What I hate is how boldly also some of the people who are for this whole movement and for being refugees in another country are saying, yeah, but they said kill the boy and whatever. And I'm like, I watch both of these things. Both of them, one is more recent, where they said the land that does not belong to you may it come back and be, distributed correctly. And then you've got one where clearly a black person is saying, wives, children, like, let's just get rid of the entire lot, right? And I understand that, but as a black woman in South Africa, I don't want to stay in a standalone home. I want to stay in a state where it's safer. So it's not when they come to my door and black person, sorry, point us to the white people. No, that's not the case, right? You are isolated, and granted, you have the right to stay wherever it is that you have purchased land, right? But the fact is, if you're on a farm, you're isolated, right? Getting help in, let's even say, a township where it's house upon house upon house, and I need to go to the hospital and I call for help, the police aren't coming on time, and the ambulance isn't coming on time, right? So we have a bigger issue than just, guys, whatever is not yours, bring it back.
There are so many layers to peel back. And in any direction anyone wants to take, it will create an argument, it will create division, which is the hardest thing, because it's always, I think the one thing that frustrates me is when someone in privilege wants to argue that or argue against it. It's like, I can hear you haven't visited a township in the past 10 years.
Oh yeah.
You don't know the feeling.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's like to wake up at 6 to take a taxi. You haven't felt that.
No.
You don't know what it's like to not necessarily beg, but to get a boss's or CEO's attention just so you can get a job. You have never needed to do that.
Yeah.
And there's so many like little, I don't want to say microaggressions, but little experiences I've never tasted to know what it's like. And it brings me to this movie that was made in the US. What's the name? Philip, I forgot what it's called. But it was made in the 80s, if not 70s. I'm going to describe it. Hopefully you guys can remember and put it in the comments below. A white student painted himself black because he wanted to know what it feels like. James Earl Jones is in the movie. And at the end of the movie, so he pretends in his whole college experience he's going to be a black person, but he's white.
Yeah.
And then at the conclusion of it all, when he comes clean, he basically apologizes because he didn't know what the experience of what it is like. He basically said, for me, I can go back to white. And I'll never know what it's like for a black person to never be able to change.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you get it. To a degree.
To a degree. Because 2 weeks later from now,
yeah,
you almost forget about that. You comfortable, you can get back into the comfort of, man, I experienced that. Oh, shame, man. But then you get into your Mercedes, and then, just a few steps down the road, you dropped off at school, and, you're at work, and et cetera, et cetera.
Sorry, let me before you finish that.
Yeah.
There's a church in Sandton that refused to bring people from the township to their church. Sorry, I was in one of the meetings way back, and they asked, why don't you bring people from the township to your church?
Oh, yeah.
They're beyond the walls, man. I would love to say the name of the church. I'm so tempted.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. So
just think about flowing water.
So I'm not going to introduce. I'm not going to.
They beyond the walls.
I don't care about your salvation. I will not tell you about Jesus because you pee on the walls, and I'm sorry, but I can't have that in my congregation. Why are we peeing on the walls? Is it not because I left my house at 5 a.m.? I last went to the loo at 4 a.m. when I woke up in the morning. I left my house at 5. I'm at work at 7 a.m. because it takes 2 good hours to get into the areas where work is.
I already just read the history of how toilets were built in townships. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'll leave that for you guys to research.
Man.
Back then, access to toilets?
I don't want to be angry, and this is making me really angry.
So when I heard that they pee on the walls, like,
no.
You're perpetuating. And he's the same guy who got dragged for saying, but we worked hard for this. Black people don't work hard enough. From the stage on a Sunday. A pasta. Some of you guys will remember the story. It was on the news. He got dragged and he never apologized. I just remember hearing a sermon from him I think last year or the year before,
Yeah.
saying some people get really sensitive. It's like he still hasn't healed from how you got dragged on social media, because like, oh, you haven't dealt with your ignorance, and yet people still come to this building as beautiful as it's a really beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. Now you guys probably know. If you're in South Africa, you know the church now.
Oh up. Oh up, TK.
It's
Stop
a
it.
beautiful building. I see people on WhatsApp stories every Sunday like, okay, I see it.
You still there. You
Like,
still attend.
you don't want to address his stuff anyway. But that's the mindset we got to deal with, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And I'm not asking every white person or every Afrikaner become be an activist for us. I at this point I don't care anymore. You've shown your true colors. You don't care. You just want to make sure you live comfortable, and that's the world we're in. We're in a world of self-preservation. However, I do hope that if you continue to live like that, may that affect your kids and your next kids.
Oh my.
May you see the consequence of that behavior and that mentality on your kids. As for the rest of us who want to be communal and see the whole country evolve, may we see the reward of that. I'm not trying to be the devil. I'm just saying, for everyone who wants to try sideline groups, may you see the effect on your kids.
I don't see how that solves anything, and I don't want to drag.
I'm not
this
trying to
out.
solve. I'm just trying to. I want you to feel the same pain just for a bit, and maybe then empathy will kick in. Maybe then.
No. How is it going to kick in? Because as soon as that happens to their children, it's going to go back to, it's because these blacks.
I didn't say reverse apartheid. I'm just saying may the mentality evolve itself in the consequence seen in your kids. Like the same thing with the Nelson Mandela thing and his grandkids. Like, oh, we thought this is an honorable man, whatever. However we saw him and branded him, and now we see the outflow of. Because I think in our heads as South Africans, we think, oh, the kids of Walter Sisulu, the kids of Nelson Mandela, the kids of Ahmed Kathrada, or Ahmed Kathrada, his kids, his family seems like they are quite focused on like doing something significant in the
They're
nation.
Indian, they're black, so hello.
Okay.
They're black.
But like the second generation and third generation of some of these families, like,
Yeah.
focus. You believe in something. It's the big ones, like, the mantle was there. And the opportunity was there to go, we're going to, yes, what my grandfather did was great. I'm taking it there. Who's coming with me? And yeah, maybe it sucks to have to be the grandkid with that pressure. But unfortunately, sometimes it falls on a nation to be great.
That is the thing. We are tired as well, right? Because you've got the Mandela who was the face of, and then after him came, and after him came, and I'm just thinking that this pressure, guys, is a lot.
It is.
It is a lot, and you are just somebody who would really like to fix your country. I just want to see my country not be called the grade 12H of the world. I just want to see my country not be a third world country, right? But the fact remains that the problem and it's so deep, right? The violence is so deep that getting above it is not just a simple, okay, so 1994 happened. Let's move on. It's not that simple. As much as we would like to, when everybody says, get over it, guys, it's not that simple, guys. It really isn't that simple. Because you go from, hey, you K-word, right, to you aren't like them. You don't talk like them. You arrive to work on time. You hardworking. So the face of apartheid has changed. It's still there. It's just that it's changed. So that's why it's very difficult to move on, because we're still feeling it generations after, right? Where the dompas, and we have no idea and we have no understanding of that era, but we're feeling it in a totally different way. And then you're going to get my children and your children who are going to feel it, but it just looks different. It's still there. It's just the head of the beast is just changed. So it's still there.
So to your point, this is where my hypocrisy comes in. And I think one thing we've got to really make sure we endorse or be honest about in this podcast is as humans, we are layered. With the layers come a lot of hypocrisy because we've got double standards on a lot of things. So with my daughter, I can't help but go, oh, this is the music we like. I'm a piano, hip hop, gospel. This is what I want you to kind of get into.
But that's the thing. That is a thing as well. How much influence are you putting onto her?
Yeah.
That isn't quite necessary.
No, but wait. So even with the examples, I don't really give her screen time.
Okay.
But when she does have screen time, or when she is watching something next to me, I wanted to see people who are black who are doing something great.
Granted.
I wanted to, because I guess in our school time, the only people doing great stuff were white.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Unfortunately, everyone black was cleaning. It's like, I don't want you to see that.
Yeah.
Because I want you to see, no, we are a lot bigger than this.
Yeah.
We have mentally had
There's
to
more.
fight to go, and this is why black people didn't want to be teachers. Because we saw all the black people in the suburban schools being cleaners.
Yeah.
We have a whole generation to overcome that. And I can already see with the daycare that my daughter's in, like when she's held by, I mean, now she's kind of assimilated to the environment.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, when she was held by a white person, you could see she was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When she was held by an Indian or a colored or a black person, she was more comfortable. And I wasn't trying to institute, I guess, reverse racism.
Yeah.
But I wanted her to understand that, no, we're not inferior to anyone. I want you to understand that from the get-go. This is not a question. This is not a conversation.
That's still something that I'm fighting today.
Yeah.
With the area that I'm in. Your daughter is way younger than my kids are. And never at any time were my children exposed to the whole, they are better, right? And we have to bow down to. They were never exposed to that. It was always, you worthy of. And I made sure, right, that they understood that. But there's just something, man. I don't know if it's what we're watching on TV or what we're hearing or what we're reading in the media, but there's definitely something that makes them take a step back before just going at something. It's like, I can't do that. I'm not the right, that kind of thing. So it's great that you're starting, you're getting that into her early. But it just shows that it still exists.
Yeah.
And that's the painful part.
Yeah.
That is the part that if you are a Van Wyk, Van der Merwe, Michaels, whoever, you're not going to get that because you don't see it.
You've never.
All you know is that I send my child to a school that has both black and white children.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm doing my part in making sure that my child grows up with the culture of, right, South Africa. But you don't go deeper than that. You don't ask and say, oh, why is it that on a Friday afternoon they have to do this if it's a funeral? All you say is that, it's just how the black people do it. We don't understand these funerals of theirs. We don't understand their events.
Yeah.
But you've done your job. You've put your child in a school that has both black and white. You have a party, you invite Sipo, right? And it's the 24th of September and it's Heritage Day, and you put your child, you make sure that they put on the whole regalia of isiZulu. That's you've done your part.
Such a tricky layered conversation to have.
It's hectic. So I don't appreciate then if we are still grappling with the entire thing. When a Trump, like, why are you in this thing?
That's why when Cyril said we will not be bullied, I was like, I like that. He had to double down and go, also, when have we ever needed America? And drop the bomb. Don't even end the speech there. When have we ever needed America? We don't need their dollars. They don't provide. Yes, they provide millions or whatever for USAID. But South Africa makes good enough money. We just need the right leaders. The right leaders who actually care about the nation. And we'll be okay. Right now, we've got clowns, we've got puppets, we've got people who are prepared to take bribes, people with no backbone. They have no courage to stand up for anything. Shout out to, Duduzane Zuma. I'm assuming, I haven't read that article properly, and maybe you have information on that. But it sounds like she didn't really necessarily do anything wrong. I could be wrong. Educate me. But yeah, I'm waiting for the day South African people will believe in the nation we have at hand?
For the daily headlines that I do, right? I went to somebody who's in the medical industry, and I said, hey, I'd like to have a chat with you regarding the impact of the US taking back the US aid. And she said, you know what, let me just get somebody higher up. And we went from higher up to higher up to higher up, and they said, we can't talk about this. They were unable to talk about the impact that it was having on South Africa because it hadn't yet landed, right? So we just knew, oh, okay, this is what's going to be happening. But because they didn't have the information as to what was actually going to happen at the end of this entire thing, they couldn't say anything about it. So yes, we will not be bullied. But then if you go deeper in grassroots level and you look at the people on the ground, they're saying, guys, this we are having it, right? There's clinics closing. We're not going to be bullied, but there's clinics closing.
Okay, so maybe we need to have, and this is why we put Before You Weekend on a separate channel, so we can have separate maybe interviews or Zoom calls and put that up.
Yeah.
Just so we can have those kind of conversations. So maybe we need to find who can we talk to that maybe might have more insights on what does this actually mean and why can we not rectify this ourselves. Africa is it's 2025. We're at a place in the next 50 years, Africa needs to be a self-sustainable continent without no international money, no help, no nothing. Humanity began here. Let it continue here. Yeah. I'm not trying to be an activist. We're just trying to bring like the news updates with laughs. Now you guys are going to your brides angry. Like damn it, these Americans.
Yeah,
how would you like your meat? Burnt?
Ja, Quivers. Here's your Klipdrift and cola.
Would you like a dash with a bit of apartheid? Kendrick Lamar. The Super Bowl.
Man.
Sorry, producers, how many minutes do you have left?
Oh shit, I swore.
4 minutes left.
Okay,
Damn.
let's get to it. Did you watch it?
Did I watch it? I woke my son up and I said, Hela,
Here's a hero.
this is what you're
This
going to
is
be
Steve
talking
Biko.
about. This is Steve Biko. This is what you're going to be talking about in school today.
You better go
and
study
he's like,
this.
Dimam, so what now? And I'm like, listen, my boy, this is what you're going to be talking in school about today. Everything. Oh man, I love God. If there is a coming back again, black and female again, please. But most importantly, black. The way everything is calculated.
Yeah.
I just love it. You watch it for the first time and you're like, man, that's good. Yeah. And then you watch it for the second time and then you realize what the setup was, right? And everything is just a game. And then you watch it and then you're like, oh, Uncle Sam. God damn. Oh, there's Serena. Oh man, that means everything. I don't know how many times I've watched it. I'm salivating. That is how much I enjoyed it. And I've always enjoyed his music, his creativity, right? But now I realize that I am toxic. And I love how toxic he is.
Yeah.
But it's also very intelligent.
Yes.
It's very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
It's very calculated. Everything right down to the person who came up with the flag,
Yes.
right, on the car. He's like, for my country. Listen, for my belief, this is what I'm going to stand for. I loved it. I don't know how Drake is feeling. I wouldn't want to be him.
I think Drake should be okay because this was bigger than Drake. Yes, we did the Not Like Us thing. And it was a good way to go. This conversation is done. Game over. Brilliant. But the whole conversation in the performance was a conversation.
Yeah.
And the conversation is bigger than Drake. Yes, you're a byproduct of what we need to talk about. Yeah. But it's not about you.
Yeah.
You came and colonized, you got your money, cool. But we need to talk about America. So I had my own predictions, or I had my own desires of how I would want him to start.
That's what excited me. I was just like, I just want to know what TK thinks about this thing.
I actually wanted his dancers to come out in chains looking like slaves.
Okay.
And the verse should have started with, Once upon a time, all of us is in chains. That third verse of the Not Like Us. Because he's not allowed to perform Not Like Us the way it should be performed.
Yeah.
I feel like if you start there and then cut it to, if God got us, then we go be all right.
Oh,
and then all the
man.
dancers die, like with gunshots and police. Like, yes, now we have the conversation. That's how I would have done it. But it's probably a bit too much for white people in NFL. They're going, no, what are you saying about us? That you guys kill us?
I
What do you
just
mean?"
and exactly that. But that's what Uncle Sam was there for.
Yes.
This is too ghetto, and I was like, oh my gosh,
That's beautiful.
That's what you guys say all the time.
Yes.
It's too black. It's too sipo. It's too.
Yeah.
You guys don't. Oh,
And that's what
man.
bothered me online after the performance. That people were going, no, this wasn't good. Just say you don't know.
You
just
didn't
say you lack
understand.
comprehension skills.
You lack, yes, intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I loved it. Absolutely.
What's
loved it.
been so crazy about Kendrick Lamar's past 2 years is whatever he puts out, everyone has to go study. Like, what does this mean?
Bruh.
Why did he say this?
It's not just a simple, start and then,
It's not
nice.
sitting in a white box and doing this. It's no. There's a message to the scene.
So, you're a lot. Okay.
It was a beautiful performance.
Beautiful.
I stayed up to try watch it. Not stayed up. I slept and I woke up early to try watch it. My brain couldn't, so I woke up at like 6. Made sure I get it.
You're a father now. It's different.
Yeah.
You're a father.
But hearing a whole stadium say A minor,
Sir, and then you've got a small letter A. Everything is thought about. That watching that. I love watching stuff like that. I obsess over creativity like that because it makes me think, why are you okay with just letting this out into the world?
Yeah.
Are you happy
Yeah.
with what you've let out into the world?
Yeah.
I'm like, it has to be layered.
You know what's crazy with
Has to be.
that expression or the key A minor is that the key A minor, there is no black keys on a piano that's an A minor.
Don't mess with my head like that.
I'm serious. There are no
Oh
black
my.
keys that's an A minor. It's all white.
Love it.
I don't know how to feel about Drake, but I mean, he released a track or an album today. It's available. I'm not trying to post
Really?
it.
Why?
He's with Division.
What's the point?
It was beautiful. I don't know what it will take for us to have something like a Super Bowl in South Africa. I mean, I guess it would be like a soccer final, but I don't know if we treat, as an artistic continent, I don't know if we treat the arts the same.
Soccer final between who and who? Also, you were coming all right. Coming all right, and then you came to South Africa. There's a lot that we can do. No?
We are the
There's a
most
lot
talented
that we
continent in the world.
Yeah, but when it comes to production,
Yeah, it's because they haven't called me yet.
hello.
Give me the budget. let me cause some problems. Let me make America not like us because they're not like us.
Sir. Man, it's February, but who's looking? Who's counting? We're back, okay? Before You Weekend is back. And what did you call us, South Africa, earlier? You said something about the people of, right? The Republic of South Africa. RSR. We are back, guys. We missed you. When we say we missed you, and it's great to be back. So, there's new format with Before You Weekend. We've got the hot seat. There's so much more that we've got planned for you guys for this year. So we're really, really grateful that everybody joined us this year. And until next week, where we talk about everything that has happened the week before. So make sure that you get in with the news. Make sure that you get in with what's hot and happening. And also, we've got a poll. So vote on who won this week. Right, with our debate on should we have a 4-day week or should we have a 5-day week. Other than that, this has been Before You Weekend, where we talk about the week before it ends.
You're watching Before You Weekend.